That's what we're doing now. We're fighting it halfway. It's Vietnam. We're letting the politicians fight it. We have the troops and the resources to win it, and we let the politicians fight it. If that's how we're going to do it, then you might as well pack it up and come home. But what we need to do is win. If we go all in now and fight it the way we should, we have these amazing bombers, we have the troops in place, we can be out of there much quicker than we would have before, and we can be out of there in victory without a nuclear Pakistan getting ready to crumble next door. But we have a president that stands in front of West Point and uses the word I 43 times and doesn't say win or victory once. He gave the enemy a deadline for when we're leaving. I've never heard of anything like that before. Even we talk about FDR and a lot of the problems you have with some of his programs, but he would never have said something like that. Ever. We talk about past Democrat presidents, JFK and others, they wouldn't dream of saying something like that. He stood on the hallowed grounds of West Point and told the enemy when we're leaving. What did we elect in this country? So I know that that was a long way to get there. I feel it's necessary to win. We must win it. I think as long as the politicians are running it, we're not going to win it, and people are dying that don't have to right now. So.
Jesse, I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I've been married to my wife for 56 years. We don't agree on everything.
Just
But I phoned your opponent 4 different times this past couple of years, and every time she elected not to vote the way I asked her please to vote. You can write that down, incidentally. I asked her, please don't vote for this, and she did. Please don't vote for that, and she did. Please don't vote for that, and she did. I appreciate what you said tonight, and I agree with most everything you've said. I worked in the oil fields in Southern California when I was going through college. They drilled an oil well there about 20,000 feet deep to test to see if the oil level below where the oil wells were had any better field below where they were. And they hit an oil bearing sand that took about 50,000 barrels a day, about 20,000 to 30,000 feet down. I just wondered, and this was not offshore, this was about 5-6 miles inside in Seal Beach, Southern California. This wasn't offshore and a mile deep and all that below. My question to you is, or suggestion to you is, explain to us or to whomever is here, your position on being, as every politician has for the last 10, 12, 15, 18 years, independent of foreign oil.
Well, my take on it is the best way off foreign oil is domestic oil. We let the Sierra Club run our energy policy in this country. We have look, the technology's there for all these things. All these things, nuclear and everything else. If nuclear power could power 40% of the nation. We have oil reserves that are off the charts in this country.
Incidentally, when they found this well, the normal wells were about 6,000 to 8,000 feet deep, normal. This was 20,000 feet down, right? They capped the well. This was 1951.
Yes.
They capped the well.
Well, the oil guys will tell you today they don't even need to drill new wells, they just need to uncap the ones we already have. But again, the entity that profits most off the oil companies today, it's the government. More than big oil and everything else, it's the government that does it. We punish one industry in favor of another. I believe the federal government should take their hands off the energy industry and get out of the way, because right now the technology is there. We pay such artificially high prices for our electricity and our gasoline. It's frightening. It is frightening how artificially elevated the energy prices we pay are. And what do we get out of our representative? She votes for cap and trade. completely decimating industry and energy in this country. We better stop letting the radical environmentalists run our energy policy or we're done.
I want to ask you about terrorism within our country. And that's a very serious problem in the gangs that we have. I feel that if we are taken from within, it's because Al-Qaeda got a hold of some of these gangs in the big cities. What are we doing about it? What can we do about it? What do you have to say about it?
Well, the biggest problems we have right now with terrorism from the interior, a lot of it ties back to the border. There are a lot of them are coming over the border. They were just looking for that Al-Qaeda terrorist from Yemen coming across the Texas border. So that's why it is a national security issue to have an unsecured border. As far as the interior with the gangs, I've not heard that has been a big problem because once they get in, they try to blend in. And they don't blend in with the gangs unless you know, I'm not saying I'm all-knowing. I've not heard that the terrorists are mingling with the street gangs. What they're doing, they're either keeping to themselves or actually a lot of them are joining the military. We saw that in Texas, that big shoot-up thing. They understand that that's access to equipment, access to bases that they would not have otherwise. And as far as what we're doing about it, no, I'm not in the FBI or the other places. I have enough friends that are to know they understand that problem. They're being as proactive on it as possible, even with an administration and a Congress that kind of spend more time blaming law enforcement than getting out of their way. But you're right, interior, it's a problem. It is a problem because they're not stupid. Al-Qaeda knows they're not going to form an army and sail across the open seas and invade. They have to do it slowly. They have to do it like they did on 9/11. Get people here, get them for some years, get them a pilot's license and do some damage. That's why we have to be so proactive about the problem. Because terrorism is something it's not new, but this level of terrorism is new. And it's an uncomfortable fact, especially when we're in wars that are becoming unpopular and otherwise, to talk about it. But the truth of the matter is, there are people in this world that have declared war on the United States of America. They want to kill every single man, woman, and child here. They are more committed to doing that than any enemy we've ever fought, and that they'll kill their own children to accomplish that. They are monsters. That's what they are. They should get what they deserve from the United States Marines. And that's what they should get. In the Army, if we feel like taking it easy. No, I'm just saying we need to, I'm not saying we need to go start invading countries or anything like that. I'm saying we just simply need to get to a mindset of acknowledging that and match their commitment with commitment. It's not enough to tire of war because they're not tired of war. And they won't be tired until a city glows in the dark in this country. So we need to be aware of that and just be aware of it. Oh, sorry. Dixie?
Yes. I get on the phone and I call senators and congressmen before just about every major vote. And I have included Deborah Vickers. I have called her office. I have asked her, not her staff, how is she going to vote on this? She never has made up her mind, ever. I've never gotten an answer, but I don't believe it. But my question is there going to be a debate between you and Deborah Vickers?
Great question.
Yeah.
Look, the first debate, Gabrielle, she's a politician, so she knows how to dance around things. The first debate, she's canceled every single debate or public forum with me until October 18th. You know what that means? That means 60% of the people will have already voted because 60% vote early down. So it looks as if she's accepted debates when really she's ducking for cover. And don't be surprised if she has a family emergency or something that night either. But October 18th is the first one. And what can she say? Her people are not fools. They know her record, and they've seen us debate. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. If there are no votes on the line, which there will be, she still needs to stand there and answer for what she's done, and we will make her do so. Believe me. Sue just asked me what time it is on the 18th. I have no clue whatsoever, but I'm sure someone on my 6 to 8. 6 to 8 at the U of A, and come on out to it, and come on out early, because you can bet the libs will.